Welcome to this video in Mastering Elasticsearch 5.0 entitled Repositories and Snapshots. Before moving forward, I want to note that other backups are also supported via plugins for backup purposes in Elasticsearch. They include Amazon's cloud-based S3, the Hadoop HDFS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud Storage. Now let's get into preparing for backups. As previously stated, before we can initiate the snapshot process in Elasticsearch, we must have one or more registered repositories, which represents the locations where the snapshots will be located. Registering a repository involves two steps. First, we need to update the elasticsearch.yml configuration file with the following. Once the configuration files on every node has been updated, you will need to restart the cluster. Then, we need to complete the process by inputting the following code in DevTools in Kibana. Now let's look at creating a snapshot. From DevTools in Kibana, now we can paste our code here and to complete the registration of our repository from the DevTools in Kibana. As you can see here, I have the name, and the name is es_backup. That's the name of the repository. File type, FS, we're using file system. And the location, this location, remove this, must exactly match the location that you have in your repo location set in the configuration file, which we just saw. And here I have compression set to true. Now what that means is that expected to have all primary shards available during backup. More on snapshots. Snapshots are built incrementally, and therefore each previously created snapshot is essentially augmented with newly added data. The snapshot process is non-blocking, so the cluster remains fully functional during the backup process. While a snapshot is being formed on a given shard, rebalancing cannot occur, which means that shards cannot be reshuffled to new nodes during backup. Finally, Elasticsearch only allows one running snapshot process per cluster. Now let's take a quick look at the snapshot details for the snapshot that we just created. Back here at Kibana, the way to view the snapshot that we just created, remember it was named snapshot_1, is by simply using the get verb _snapshot and the name of our repository, es_backup, if you can recall, and then the name of the snapshot. And there you have it. These all the details involving the snapshot. And basically what this does is it gives us metadata regarding the state of the snapshot. Per Elasticsearch documentation, a snapshot can only be restored to a compatible version of Elasticsearch. It's important that we talk about compatibility quickly because maybe some of you guys are running Elasticsearch 2.0, you want to upgrade to 5, or you're on version 1, etc. But there are rules regarding which version of Elasticsearch is compatible to the other. So according to the documentations, again, when you look at the chart, basically it's about the next version up. So 2.0 or 2x, version 2, can be restored on version 5. And version 1 can be restored on version 2. Needless to say, if you're running version 1 of Elasticsearch, you cannot restore your snapshots on version 5. What you would have to do in effect is restore them on version 2 and move up, or you'd have to basically rebuild the index. Viewing and deleting snapshots in Elasticsearch is straightforward. To view a specific snapshot, simply do the following. If you want to view all the snapshots, then it's as simple as using the _all endpoint. And if you want to know if there are any snapshots that are currently running, you actually use the _current endpoint. So the current endpoint will let you know if there are any snapshots that are running. If you want to delete snapshots, again, the API for Elasticsearch is very intuitive. So you simply use the delete verb. You include _snapshots, obviously, and then the repository and the name of the snapshot. So our repository name is es_backup, and the snapshot's name is snapshot_1. And if you want to delete a repository, you simply remove the snapshot name, keep the repository name. But note, deleting a repository does not delete a snapshot. It simply deletes the repository. The snapshots remain. Since we've demonstrated how to create a repository and associate a snapshot with it, along with how to examine snapshot details, let's quickly look at how to delete a snapshot and a repository. First, let's look at deleting a snapshot. Okay, as you can see here, we have the delete verb, and then we have the _snapshot, and then the name of the repository, which is es_backup. And if you can recall, we created the snapshot_1. So let's delete this. As you can see here, we have acknowledge equals true. So if we were to go quickly and say get this snapshot, there it is. It's not there. Now, let's delete a snapshot. It's pretty straightforward. Delete _snapshot es_backup. And there we go. The repository is gone. Again, you can verify this by using get. And there you go. You get the repository missing exception, which means it no longer exists. Snapshot restoration is achieved by using the post verb along with the restore endpoints. As such, this will result in all indices in the snapshot being restored. Here, we have an example of restoring two indices, index_1, index_2. Please remember that by default, if you're restoring an existing index, it must be closed at the time of restoration. In addition, the index must also possess the same number of shards as the index in the snapshot. Very important. Otherwise, it might be more beneficial to first delete the index and then perform the restoration process, because Elasticsearch recreates all non-existing indices during restoration. To stop a snapshot, all you need to do is simply delete it. This may be necessary in the case of long-running snapshot processes that you want to abandon. And that concludes this video. Up next, we look at machine learning in Elasticsearch.